Judith Cochrane.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I too welcome the opportunity to speak on the motion and the amendment, as I've also seen the stress and uncertainty brought on by the reassessment process for ESA first hand. From the outset, I believe the idea behind ESA is positive, in that those who can work should work, provided that there are appropriate jobs available. And personal support should be given to those who are unable to carry out certain tasks or who require assistance with retraining in a different field after recovering from an illness. The benefits of getting people back to work after an illness or disability are clear, not only from their own health and well-being, but also economically. However, the underlying principle of the process must be to help and not to hound people. Others have already referred to the work of Professor Malcolm Harrington. His initial conclusions on the work capability assessment were that the process was too mechanistic, there wasn't enough of the human touch, people didn't know what was happening to them and no one was telling them. Yet this is the same system that is determining whether a claimant is fit for work. Prior to February 2011, 66% of claims for ESA had been disallowed, with then the success rate at appeals standing at 40%. This was disturbingly high, as it appeared that significant numbers of people were being found to be fit for work when they were in fact not. The information available suggested that the standard of decision-making by the staff of the Social Security Agency was satisfactory, and that the problems with ESA were a result of the new computerised test. Due to this process, vulnerable people have had essential payments cut, and there have been numerous cases of individuals with debilitating medical conditions such as Parkinson's, MS, rheumatoid arthritis or mental health issues being wrongly deemed fit to work. Those with medical conditions such as these have good days and bad days, and assessing them over the phone on a good day is a wholly inaccurate picture of their illness or disability. With such a generic and impersonal test, it is unsurprising how many claims have then been successful at appeal. Realistically, it's the first opportunity that a claimant has to have their individual circumstances and medical history looked at and discussed in detail on a face-to-face basis. Although some adjustments have been made to the work capability assessment, considerable criticism continues from those in the advice and voluntary sector, as 27% of those migrating from incapacity benefit to ESA have been disallowed altogether, and there is a widespread view that access to the support group is also extremely limited. With no input from a claimant's GP or health worker and limited knowledge of the claimant's medical history, we cannot realistically expect a tick-box exercise carried out over the phone to adequately assess whether an individual is or is not fit to work. A one-size-fits-all approach does not work, and we must focus our efforts into fixing a flawed assessment process. The benefit system should be reformed, making work pay and encouraging those who are in fact fit for work into paid work. However, the current situation with the current assessment process means that due to so many decisions being challenged, significant finances are now being directed into the appeals process. As Mark Durkin has already said, in March of this year, Scottish GPs called for an end to the work capability assessments at their annual British Medical Association conference, commenting that the computer-based assessments are inadequate and have little regard to the nature or complexity of the needs of the long-term sick and disabled persons. We too need to consider a better assessment process to ensure the most vulnerable in society are given the support that they need. I support the motion and I call on the Minister to urgently review the process. Thank you.
Alex Easton.